So, I think we are live. Hi, everybody. So, welcome to today's live session. Welcome to today's daily lesson learned. I will give you some time to join the chat. If you join the chat, as always, then please let me know where you come from. So, please write the country and the city. And I hope you had a wonderful day. So, it's 9:30 p.m. here in Germany, here in Munich. Just had to finish a couple of calls for the project I'm working on, so that's why we had to delay this live. But nevertheless, I think we are ready. Good. Then I would say let's start. So, do you want to prepare yourself for your internship in management consulting? Then this video is for you. Hi everyone, my name is Johannes Niari and welcome to this channel. Welcome to Mastering Consulting. On this channel, I want to help you to learn the necessary skills to have a great career in management consulting, but also to live a balanced life. And today we have a very interesting topic. We talk about my personal tips for you if you want to prepare for a management consulting internship. And this video, as you probably know, is part of my daily lesson learn series. So I will publish daily lives to share my experiences and my thoughts about management consulting. So if you don't want to miss any of those videos, then please subscribe to this channel. And also to push the algorithm, then please put a thumb up so that the video is visible for others as well. But let's start with the topic. So how can you prepare in the best possible way for your internship in management consulting? And as a start, let me share a backstory. So I remember, it was like probably 7 or 8 years ago when I prepared for my first intern. And obviously I was very nervous because I was kind of proud that I got an offer for this internship, and obviously I wanted to perform in the best possible way. And if you think that you want to, or if you want to prepare for an internship now, and you think you are not prepared, then you have no idea what it means to be not prepared. Because back then I was really, really not prepared. So I had no management background at that time, and I had no consulting experiences at all, and I didn't even know how to use Excel and PowerPoint in the right way. So I really had to start from zero. Nevertheless, I wanted to deliver great performance. So what I did was I tried to learn everything about PowerPoint and Excel that was out there. I tried to read every book about management and business and consulting that I could get. I tried to talk to everyone who already did some management consulting work, and try to read every blog, try to watch every YouTube video. Back then there weren't that many YouTube videos out there. Nevertheless, I tried to read and learn as much as possible. So nevertheless, this was quite inefficient. And although my first internship, it was good and I received an offer, but nevertheless, the whole preparation process, it took way too long. It was way too inefficient. I focused on so many things that at the end weren't necessary. And now, I'm working in a consultancy now for 3 years. I'm a senior consultant, and I have worked with numerous interns together in a while. So, now I really know what I expect, or what the management consulting industry expects from an intern. So this gives me a completely new perspective, and it also shows me what I did wrong in my preparation back then. And if you want to prepare for an internship in a management consultancy now, then this video is for you. So I will share my top 5 tips for you to prepare for an internship. Okay? So before we start talking about how you can prepare. I think it's very important that you understand what consultants expect from an intern. And I talk about my own experience. So if I work together with an intern, so what do I expect from him or her? So first of all, I expect him or her to know all the basics, so to know the tools. Because let's be honest, most of the work for interns, at least at the beginning, will be mostly in Excel or PowerPoint. Okay, so I expect them to know how to use these tools. Otherwise, they lose a lot of time learning how these tools work, and this is valuable time that you lose to show what you can do from an analytical perspective, for example. Okay, so I expect them to know all the basics so that they can support in the daily business. Also, I hope that they at least have some practical experience. So I usually don't like to work with people who have no practical experience at all, and luckily this doesn't happen very often. And even if you say, okay, this is my first consulting internship, or this is in general my first internship, it doesn't matter. There are many works, or there is many work that you can do as a kind of practical preparation. If you join student clubs, for example, if you do projects in your or at your university, if you work in your community, for example, the most important thing is that you get as much experience as possible in project-based work. Okay, and this doesn't necessarily have to be in a consulting context. It can also be in a student club, as I said, or at university, or in your community, or elsewhere. For example, if you I know I did music back then, so being in a band, as silly as it sounds, helped me to get a good understanding how a team works. Okay, maybe you have a similar hobby where you also can learn how to work in a team. So this is expectation number two. I expect them to have practical experience. Expectation number three is that I expect them to know about the consulting industry. So this means that they have a broad understanding about how the industry works, so what the roles are, how we earn our money, and that they also have a kind of feeling how the industry ticks. Okay, so that they know what is appropriate and what is not appropriate. So I think it's also very important that, I mean, it's important that if they are on a project, they do not feel or kind of appear as an outsider. Okay, they also have to appear, always have to appear as an insider. Okay, and for that you need to understand how the industry ticks. And the fourth expectation that I have for an intern is very easy. It's just that the intern is a cool person to hang out with. So remember that on a project you spend a lot of time together, right? And a lot of evenings and at the airport and traveling and stuff. So it's very important that you're just a cool, person to hang out with. And also, although I mean, it's kind of hard to say that, but it also helps to not to take your internship too serious and not to take yourself too serious, right? Because I mean, if you are always under performance pressure, um, sometimes this seems to others like if you're arrogant or only business focused, but you also want to build a personal relationship with those people you're working with. Okay, so my expectation number four is that you just are a cool person to hang out with. Okay, so to summarize, what are my expectations for an intern? It's that he or she knows the basics, so PowerPoint, Excel, has as much practical experience as possible, knows about the consulting industry, and also is a cool person to hang out with. So the big question is, how can you prepare for an internship? Okay, and I have 5 tips that I can give to you based on my previous experience as an intern myself, and based on my experience with working with interns and being kind of their supervisor. Okay, so as I said, tip number 1 is that you learn the basics about Excel and PowerPoint. And the best way, I mean, if you have no experience at all, then try to get an online course. There are so many very, very cheap online courses out there. Also, there are many free videos on YouTube or similar platforms. So it's very important that you know how Excel works, that you know how PowerPoint works. And I'm talking about the technical basics here, okay? So if I say that you have to do a VLOOKUP function, for example, or a SUMIF function or index match, then you should know how to do that in Excel, okay? Also in PowerPoint, if I say, okay, adjust these or align these boxes, make them in this color, make it look more, I don't know, more graphical, include icons, then you should definitely know how to use it or how to do that, because this will be most of your tasks, especially at the beginning, that you're doing at an intern. Okay, so tip number one is that you learn how to use Excel and PowerPoint. Tip number two, as I just said, is that you get as much practical experience as possible. So if you're studying, then try to do as much project-based work as possible. So usually, if you are in a business school, a lot of stuff will be project-based, because this prepares you in the best way for a professional work environment. If you are at a university where you have more like lectures, then try to attend as many practical courses as possible. Another option, an option that I used, was to work in a student club. So we had a lot of student consulting clubs. We still have them here in Germany. So I tried, or I actually joined those clubs. And I think these are options that can help you to get practical experience. Also, I can recommend to sometimes even do work for free. So this is also something that I did, and whenever someone needed in my personal environment help with preparing a presentation or setting up a small business case or whatsoever. So friends of mine, for example, who wanted to start their own business, I always offered my help for free, because I just wanted to learn about management. I wanted to learn about building models, doing presentations, and so on. So this is tip number two. Get as much practical experience upfront as possible. Tip number three that I can give to you is that you read as many books about management consulting as you can. Okay, so reading in general is very important to grow as a person. Always remember, the average CEO reads about 50 books per year. So this is one book roughly per week. So if you want to advise CEOs, you probably should know more than them. So you probably should also read more than them. Okay, so if you don't read 1 or 2 books per week, that's no problem. But if you don't read at all, you should definitely make it a habit to read business books. Okay, not only to read novels and stuff like that. Read valuable business books that help you to grow professionally. And 2 books that are, in my personal opinion, a must-read for every consultant are The McKinsey Way by Ethan M. Razel. A very important book. I already made a video about it. You can look it up. And another book that I found to be very helpful was Aspiring Advisor. Okay, I actually forgot the author's name. Let me look it up. So the author is Moritz Dressel. Yeah. I think he's a German, but I don't know. Okay, so these are the 2 books: 1, The McKinsey Way, and 2, Aspiring Advisor. Okay, 2 very valuable books that will help you to understand how consulting works, and especially the Aspiring Advisor is more or less a step-by-step guide how to prepare for your first day. So very good books. Okay, so tip number 3, read as much as possible. Then tip number 4 is that you follow free content. So if you are watching this video, this is a very good sign, because you're already consuming and watching free content. And there are many channels about management consulting out there. First of all, Mastering Consulting. So this is this channel, obviously, but there are many other channels as well, like Firm Learning from Heinrich, for example. And if you just type in management consulting in YouTube, for example, or there are also some podcasts out there, then you should definitely try to consume as much free content as possible, because in every episode you can learn something new. And this helps you to prepare for, as I mentioned before, that you understand how management consultants tick and how they think. so that you become very quickly a part of the industry. Okay, so tip number 4, consume as much free content as possible. And tip number 5 is that you actively build a network. Okay, so if you have friends that already are part of the consulting industry, maybe they are doing an internship as well, or maybe they are already working as a junior consultant, or maybe someone more senior in your family who's already a partner at a consultancy firm. Um, I mean, try to get some personal contact to those persons. Also, career events are a great opportunity to meet people who are already working in the consulting industry, because they can talk about insights, they can help you if you have specific questions, they can give you a feel about how those people are working, what kind of characters they are usually. So it's very important to know as much consultants as you can. Okay, so tip number 5 is that you actively build your network in the management consulting industry. Good. And then maybe tip number 6 is a bonus tip, and I think this is very important. Although you want to perform well, it's important to have fun while preparing and to have fun during your internship. Okay, as I said and as I mentioned, don't take yourself too seriously, or don't take the internship too seriously, because this can also negatively affect your performance. If you're putting yourself under too much pressure, your performance might suffer. Okay, so although you have to be well prepared, and although obviously we all want to deliver great work, it's important to also take a step back and just having fun doing the work we all love to do. So that are my now 6 tips. Just to summarize, it's first, learn the tools, so learn how to use PowerPoint and Excel. Then second, get as much practical experience as possible. It's third, to read books. It's fourth, to follow free content. It's fifth, to build a network in the consulting industry. And bonus tip number 6 is have fun doing the work. So that's it for today. So I hope you liked the video. I hope this was helpful to you. Please subscribe to the channel if you don't want to miss those videos. And yeah, hope to see you tomorrow. If you have any questions, then please write in the comments or here in the chat. I will give you some seconds. I see that 4 people are online. Maybe you have a question, then I will answer it. Otherwise, as always, you can reach me on Instagram and leave me a personal message there. Okay, so that's it. Thank you for watching, and thank you for taking the time, and hope to see you tomorrow. Goodbye, Johannes.